All right, please, welcome to City of St. George Planning Commission meeting, February 2nd, 6 p.m., St. George Fire Department.
Talk into the microphone, please.
14100 Airline Highway, City of St. George. If y'all stand, please, we'll call the meeting to order and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
The minutes were on the City of St. George website. Everybody read them. Any comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous motion carries. Item number 4, public hearing, S2524-F subdivision on Bayou Manchac Road. It's 494 acre property is located on lot VM Stone, Violet, May, Rosemary Tract, Section 60, Township 8, South, Range 2, East, Greensburg, East Baton Rouge Parish, Louisiana. The applicant requests to subdivide one lot into two in a rural zoning district. Applicant is Gabe Valazzo, Earl and Associates Engineer on behalf of Rob Walker. Is the applicant here?
Yes.
Mr. Walker, you represent yourself?
Yes.
This is it's a large tract of land, and he's cutting out 1.5 acres on the, I guess, the southwest corner of the property
Yes.
to do a house in that area?
Yeah, a retirement home, basically.
Okay. Any questions for the commissioners? This is a public hearing. We'll open this to a public hearing. Does anybody want to comment on this item? There being no comments, we'll close the public hearing.
Lots of comments, sir, please.
Rob. State your name and address, please, sir.
Monty McNutt, 14925 Currency Drive, St. George, Louisiana. It may be my mistake, but I didn't realize it was just a small change. This is a large change from the last time that they came for this. And I think you're going to look at it in just a minute, the recommendation to defer until December, I think. But as part of the St. George Future Comprehensive Plan, I would recommend or suggest or ask that you defer this to the end of the year when we do have a complete comprehensive plan for the city of St. George.
Mr. Minook, this is only 1.5 acres out of 450-something acres. The guy just cutting out one lot out of it. If you do a whole subdivision, I'd say we'd defer it, but I think we need to move on with this and get it off the agenda.
Okay, I didn't, before it was a whole subdivision, I think.
No, sir, not this.
It wasn't
No,
before
sir.
the last one?
This has been on the agenda, it's been deferred before.
Right, right.
Waiting for something from Iberville Parish, but we're not worried about Iberville Parish, so we're gonna vote on this tonight.
Okay, but it is in a flood zone.
Doesn't matter, subdivision has nothing to do with whether it's in a flood zone or not, he can still subdivide it.
Okay, so he can build in floodless, right? That's what you're saying?
He can't put fill on the flood zone without doing mitigated fill. He'll have to do that when he gets a permit to build on it.
Okay. I'm sorry, I just didn't realize the
No
scope
problem.
of the plan. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Commissioners, any,
You want to speak?
you want to speak on this item?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm Charles Perilou. I live in the city of St. George, 16046 Highland Bluff Court. I'm, like a lot of us folks, we got serious issues with drainage. Has this piece of property had a drainage plan submitted and approved before any construction starts in this property?
You can comment, sir. This is not a question and answer session,
What,
but I'll answer your question now.
What file are you wanting to speak on?
What?
Which file are you,
Which
are we
item
talking
you
about
want?
the subdivision at?
Subdivision at Bayou Manchac
Yes,
Yes, sir,
okay.
okay.
Road.
Yes, sir.
It's a 450 acre tract and they're cutting 1.5 acres off of it to build a house pad on. It's not a total subdivision like you do 90 lot subdivision. There's no drainage impact studies required or traffic impact studies not required for this.
Well, I'm real familiar, having had the back of my property, which borders on Bayou Fountain, under 6 feet of water for 6 weeks in 2016. I complied with all the regulations that were in force at the time in East Baton Rouge Parish, which included spending $15,000 on hauling dirt off of my property. And I eventually found out where it's going. It was going to Burbank Drive, which was in a floodplain. And it was like, how could this happen? Well, it's because East Baton Rouge Parish did not have any mechanism to enforce their own law. Well, do we have any mechanism to be sure that there really is a flood plan for this piece of property before any of it gets developed? And to me, if you don't have a good drainage plan, you shouldn't be able to build anything on it. Whether it's one small lot or 400 lots, there needs to be a drainage plan. So I don't want to talk more than my allotted time, but man, I've been on that piece of property for 20 years, and I've seen the abuse that goes on and on and on in East Baton Rouge Parish, and we're a new city, and we've got an opportunity to do things right for the first time. So doing things right means you got to have a drainage plan before you build anything. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your comment. This is really not a question and answer session, but I'll answer your question. When he goes to pull a permit, he will have to do, if this is in a floodplain, he'll have to do mitigated fill or build it up on stilts or whatever, but our building department will take care of that at the time. All he's doing is subdividing a piece of property. Those studies are not required at this time.
It's me again. I appreciate you answering the question. But there's no road access to the property. Your staff's recommending deferral. There's a lot of indications that this should not be approved. There's talking about the flooding issue, those issues. So again, as a citizen, and I know they're waiting on Everett Parish to get the road to the place. So the other question I have or comment, they may go for a building permit, but that building permit will not be subject to public review. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so here's the final step for the public to express their desire and lack of desire, because they can go through that building permit, nobody ever knows it, but the city of St. George and the person applying for it. So for that reason, for many reasons, I still recommend, please defer till later on. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, sir. Commissioners, y'all got any, any other comments on this item? There being none, we'll close the public comment period. And commissioners, y'all got any questions?
Yeah, where's the property owner? Okay. Sorry.
Sorry.
Since we're getting into this, will you just tell us where you stand with things and where things stand with Iberville and access?
So, for general information purposes, I secured my U.S. Army Corps of Engineers permit and my Scenic Bayou permit wildlife fisheries in 2015. This project was actually to have started in 2015, but with no fault of my own, either my contractor had to work out of town for a year, then we had COVID, then we couldn't find materials, and it was one delay after another. And finally, I'm to the point where I think we can get it finally done.
Gotcha.
What's the status of the access to the property?
So Iberville, my permits were grandfathered in, and my project was green lighted before Iberville created an ordinance to bar any further crossings on Bayou Manchac from Highway 30 all the way to the confluence at Bayou Fountain. And we instead of us antagonizing the situation, I have worked with Chris Daigle, Kyle Grace, and his departments, and we're going to probably just end up putting rail car bridges. That's an acceptable crossing for them.
Okay.
And in principle, they have agreed that that's what we're going to do.
We're just waiting to get it on paper.
Just got to get some engineering stats. They're going to help me install it because they want it done a certain way, and that's fine by me.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Travis, it's not that he doesn't have access on the road. The road frontage is in front of the property. It's just, the whole Bayou Manchac Canal is in front of the property, between him and the property.
Yeah.
And Iberville wants to make sure, because the property line of Iberville and St. George, it goes to the center line of the ditch. It's nothing but a ditch, really.
Right.
It goes to the center line of the ditch. They got issued a permit for the culvert.
Yeah, just wanted to, so everybody knew what we were talking about.
So, I know our staff wants us to defer this, but I think we need to vote on this tonight. It's only a 1.5 acre tract out of a 494 acre tract. I don't see any problem with this. He can't build a house on it until he gets access to it, so I say we approve it.
The reason why staff wants to defer for 10 months?
They wanted to defer it because of the access issue with Iberville Parish.
Yeah, we were gonna wait basically until Iberville Parish moved forward with the permit, just so all notches were in place essentially before approval. That was the typical process, and we had kind of worked with Iberville in the past to just say we would move forward with them and work with them basically together whenever we had projects that were along this road. So that was our basis. We were just waiting for the permit to be granted by them. But like Commissioner said, it's essentially you can't build anything until there is access to the property.
Let me tell you, I don't want to defer this because if we defer it, what's going to happen is when we get the zoning, we're going to put a new zoning ordinance in effect, and what's going to happen is that's rural agricultural land, 3 acre lots minimum. So he's going to have to go back and hire an engineer to redo his survey map, to redo the thing, to redo 3 acres instead of 1.5 acres. So I don't want that man to have to do that again. And again, the man owns 494 acres. He could build a house on the 494 acres and not do this if he wanted to. He doesn't have to do this. But he just wants to cut out area you're going to have to build a house on. So I say, my opinion is I say we approve it.
I'm going to have to defer to staff on this, and I need to make I'm going to make a motion to defer. Do we have any idea how long it's going to take to get? No.
In 90 days.
Well, he's got it.
I hear you.
For the permit, President Chris Daigle, Vice President, Second Command Kyle Grace, John Overton of his maintenance department, and I forget the other guy's name. We have had these meetings with each other. They have, in principle, guaranteed me that there are not going to be any reasons for us to be blocked with the design of the bridge that's acceptable to them, which is now just a flat rail car bridge. So in principle, I mean, unless these guys are lying to me, which I don't think they are, they said we're going to get it done. We're waiting for a letter, but I was asking Colin Lindrew to tell me what description of my property he wants me to put on that letter because they were gonna have the letter Friday, but he must have got confused on my email when I sent it back and said, Colin, what did you come up with for me? He goes, I forgot, I didn't know we were talking about the project. So in principle and in word, everyone is going to approve this in Iberville. We will have a crossing.
That's like somebody said, yeah, I'll pay you sometime.
No, but it's their ordinance. It's Iberville's ordinance.
On y'all, we don't need to go back and forth.
It's Iberville's ordinance, so,
Robbie, thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
I hear you.
It don't matter if he does it. He can't build a house unless he gets a bridge to it.
I move we defer for 90 days, so for 3 months to the May, whatever it is, meeting.
I second.
And Commissioner Aguilar, because it was submitted in prior to the zoning changes that we're making, it would still fall under the 1 acre lot that he currently has, if that was a concern.
Right. Want to do a roll call?
Yes for deferral.
Lori Anderson,
Yes.
Jason McAllister,
No.
Bonnie McKay,
Yes.
Billy Aguilar,
No. Motion to defer for 90
May, whatever.
May 4th.
to the May 4th meeting.
And that's gonna be before
We can skip over item B, we go to item C, S25-0100, exchange of property at 17-262 and 17-324 Tiger Bend Road. Is the applicant here?
Good evening, David Patterson with Land Source, 6730 Exchequer, Baton Rouge, St. George.
Tell us what you're trying to do.
Our clients own both lots. The larger lot, the house is being used as a business, landscaping business, and all the area that you see in the back is lay-down yard for equipment and material. The other house on the smaller lot is being used as a residence, and all we did was shift the line back behind the smaller lot up towards Tiger Bend to give them some more room for the landscape business.
Y'all revised the plat after you submitted it one time? Did you
We addressed all the comments that came up in the ARM, yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. This is a public hearing. We'll open up to public comments. Anybody want to comment on this? There being none, we'll close the public comment period. Commissioners, y'all got any questions? Motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed unanimous. Thank you, sir. It passed.
Are we going to item 4?
Oh, you on that too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Item D is S25-01-08, combination of lots at excuse me, I can't talk, 8687 Elliott Road and 18031 and 18041 and 18071 Veens Road. This is a 21-acre combined tract of property comprising lots A, B, A-6-1, and Eugene, and the Eugene Wilson tract being a portion of the Lee Durham Estate, Section 2 and 11, Township 8 South, Range 2 East, Greensburg Land District, East Baton Rouge Parish, Louisiana. The applicant is requesting to combine 4 lots into 3 in rural zoning. Applicant again.
Yes. The Wilsons are here, the property owners are here if you have any questions for them. But they own the lot that fronts on Elliott and also the larger lot in the rear that's completely undeveloped, formerly. It was an undesignated lot. And so there were also 2, I think, half-acre lots that fronted on Veens Road.
These two here?
Yes, sir. So we had 4 lots, the lot fronting on Elliott, the 2 smaller lots fronting on Veens, and then the rest of the property that was undeveloped. And they're actually reducing the number of lots, going from 4 to 3. And the lots that are fronting on Veens are being significantly enlarged. So they'll be 2 4-acre lots.
Thank you again, sir. This is a public comment period. Anybody want to comment on this? There being no speakers, we'll close the comment period. Commissioners,
Motion to approve.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item E is S25-01-09, exchange of property at 17717 and 17719 Jefferson Highway. This is a 2.18 acres combined property. It's comprised of lot C-1A and C-1B of the LK Mayfield subdivision, Section 39, Township 8 South, Range 2 East, Greenberg Land District, East Baton Rouge Parish, Louisiana. The applicant requests to exchange property between 2 lots in rural zoning district. Is the applicant here, Mr. Bradford?
Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Obie Watts, representing Bradford Engineering and the applicant. As the commissioner stated, these are 2 existing lots. The owner is just proposing to exchange property, basically doubling the size of the front lot, C1A. There was a variance request for lot C1B that was approved earlier tonight. It's for the accessory structure on the rear lot. It's not behind the house. It's, as you can see on the plat, it's aligned with the front of the house. So as I mentioned, that variance was approved. The required 35-foot private servitude of passage will be extended back to the rear lot as well.
Ms. Watts, thank you. This is a public comment period. Does anybody want to speak on this, for or against it? There be no comments, we'll close the public hearing.
What is it, I'm sorry, what is it zone currently?
Rural,
Rural, will it stay rural?
yes. Now, it'll stay rural till later on when the council passes new zoning orders that we're going to send to the council tonight. Most of the rural zoning is going away after the council passes a new zoning ordinance, but it's coming up for zoning here in a little while. Mr. Watts, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, y'all got any questions?
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously. Okay, S25-21P preliminary plat, 7958, 8022, and 8044 Antioch Road. The applicant here, please.
Good evening. Bo Moody, Centerline Engineering, here on behalf of the applicant. We came last month and requested a deferral so we can continue working with the city of St. George on moving the process forward. We've taken that month to have several meetings and conversations, and per their request and the owner's agreement, we would like to request, I know it says 30 days, we'd like to request a 90-day deferral to continue to work with the city of St. George on this project. Thank you.
Hold on a second, I got some questions for you. Y'all met with staff earlier, didn't you?
We did.
And the staff recommended turning lanes and some other drainage work, and what did y'all decide to do?
They didn't recommend drainage work. We received drainage approval from our drainage impact study and from our offsite drainage assessment. They requested turn lanes, and we're currently discussing that, and while we're requesting a 90-day deferral.
Stephanie, you in the back? Yes. Can you come up here, please? The, y'all requested that they add a turning lane in and out both directions to this project? And what was their comment?
They didn't,
They didn't comment back?
no.
So they had time to add that turning lanes to this preliminary plat?
I think that's why they were requesting a deferral. Is that correct, Ryan?
Yes.
I'm asking you a question. They requesting a deferral, but we want to see if we want to grant it or not.
It would depend on the totality of what they're doing, so that would be one option. That would also require site changes as well. So we would have to see what's being proposed, if that is added in, and how that affects the lot itself. So we would have to go back and review it, if, even though they may add it in, it's still other factors that we would have to look at as well.
If he's changing the number of lots and all this other stuff, then it's a total different application, right?
Essentially, yes.
So then why are we deferring it?
We're not changing the number of lots, and nobody's said we're changing lots. We were told at the last meeting that they wanted 2 turn lanes, and the client agreed to assess the numbers, and that's why we're requesting 90 days deferral.
Brian, how about the drainage? Y'all had some more drainage comments? Did they answer all the drainage comments?
The drainage comments would still need to be addressed, so they have not addressed them yet. We haven't received any updates from the engineer at the moment to address the drainage since the last time.
All of our comments on the drainage said that the drainage was approved. We since got a comment said that St. George had some cleaning out to do of the existing drainage structures in Old Jefferson subdivision, which is why we're also agreed to the 90-day deferral to allow St. George to further assess the existing drainage. But we did not have any additional comments in regards to the drainage impact study or the offsite drainage assessment.
This question is for our staff. Just in regards to drainage, what are we looking for as far as, I think that's just one of the biggest concerns that people have is the drainage. We're hearing that it's been solved, and it sounds like we've got, more things to dig into. What are we gonna be looking at specifically?
So essentially, our DPW department went out and assessed drainage within the area itself, surrounding the development, and they saw that it was they had basically a number of deficiencies in the existing drainage that was in the area. Due to some deferred maintenance that they noted at the site, around the site, and in the surrounding neighborhoods, it was by the DPW director's recommendation that we essentially defer the project until we're able to get out and do a full assessment of the surrounding area and how drainage would work or from any outfalls coming from outside of that project. Looking at what the assessments do look at when engineers or when a developer will come in with a project like this, essentially looking at perfect conditions. We know that the drainage in the surrounding area is not perfect. We know that there are currently issues, and we look at things with if this site is going to be pushing or having water go outside of the site, how it will interact with the water in the surrounding area itself.
Thanks, and just making sure I understand. So it seems like we've got something shown in theory, but reality's pretty easily seen that it's not. As it is currently, it's got issues when we have heavy rainfall, just as it sits currently right now.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Brian, when you say the surrounding area, you're talking all the way down to the creek?
Yes. Yes. There's a number of houses there now. We know that in the surrounding area there is a number of properties that have repetitive loss when it comes to flooding, and that's something that we take seriously. So in that recommendation from the DPW director, it was looking at rain events that we've had since December, since actually November. And they got into assessments to see where water was being stored, what deficiencies were had within the road, in the surrounding area, and kind of what's leading to some of the current drainage issues that are there before this development is there, as a way of assessing deferred maintenance that we had from inheriting or incorporating out of Baton Rouge, and kind of like what we need to do now to put ourselves in a better position.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Mr. Moody, thank you. We here, we got this many, you can do, sir. Well, we got this many people here, and this is on the agenda. We're gonna open the public comment period and listen to all the comments while everybody's here. There's so many people here who want to speak again for this, or against it. We'll open the public comment period, hold on, sir, I got some other things on my mind. And I think you're on this list too, so I'll get to you in a second. Tom Peterson?
Patterson?
Patterson, Patterson, I'm sorry. I can't read, can't see, so.
I can't write. My name is Thomas Patterson. I live at 7352 Proxy Drive, St. George, 70817. The reason why I've asked to speak tonight is
Turn the mic on.
Yeah, Mr. Patterson, will you press the button for the mic? Thank you.
I'm a retired sergeant major. I've never been told my voice was too soft, just the opposite. My first function as a homeowner on Proxy Drive, this was a while ago. To tell you how far back it is, Mike Rubique was the councilman. Some people say, who was that? And the purpose of the meeting at that time was like this, to discuss a 256 unit condominium complex that was going to be put in between Proxy Drive and Ridgeway. It was in that area where the new roundabout is going to be. The reason why we asked for a deferment on the approval at that time was because they didn't provide a drainage plan. And that drainage plan, for people who have been here earlier than 2016, they know that it flooded several times before 2016. In 2016, I did continue to live on Proxy Drive. Every house on Proxy Drive was flooded. I joke with my son that I sat against one wall and photographed 5 rooms away to the far wall because all of the sheetrock had been taken out. With the Jones Creek extension being what it is and this project being proposed, my concern is that there's not a coordinated review of the drainage in that area, considering the Jones Creek extension and the water that comes from the woods behind Proxy Drive through the ditch, down the driveways, and has caused flooding in that along Proxy Drive. To give you a point of reference, every single house on Proxy Drive was flooded. What I am recommending is that until a coordinated or a comprehensive study can be made of the drainage, the impact of this project on the drainage along streets like Proxy Drive, that it be deferred, because I don't know that in my discussion with, is that my time?
Yeah, just wrap it up. I mean, we ate into your time a couple seconds anyway.
What my concern is that Jones Creek Extension might have been a good project. This one might be a good project, but the two of them together, I'm right in the middle of them. And a lot of other homes are that way. If this project is approved the way it is, I could not tell you whether one was going to have an impact on the other, and both were going to have an impact on me. So my encouragement is to defer this until such time as the impact of the Jones Creek extension and this project can be determined, and whether or not that, what I hope will be determined is the impact on the houses in Old Jefferson, specifically Proxy Drive.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Just heads up to everybody, we're going to be pretty strict on the 3 minutes from here on out, just because we've got plenty of people to talk and we want to get through this.
Mr. McNutt?
I defer to the end.
Corey Ryder.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Corey Ryder. I live at 14946 Prophet Avenue in the Old Jefferson neighborhood. I'm here tonight because the proposed development tie-in is not just a planning issue. It will add to an ongoing twofold human and property safety issue. You'll hear a lot of people talking about drainage. That is definitely one of my concerns as well, but one that affects our lives every single day living on a corner lot is speeding through the neighborhood. And we experience it every single day. We've had conversations with the sheriff's office, through our representatives on the CPID, with the traffic division, begging for more regular duty patrols, traffic enforcement, only to be told that nothing can be done without first checking with St. George. Despite all of this, the dangerous behavior continues to increase and will only intensify as traffic volume grows with the Jones Creek extension, as well as developments like the Haven. How much more are we expected to put up with? Does someone need to be killed while walking their dog? Child struck while waiting at the bus stop, which is right there at the corner of Director and Prophet? A car losing control, which we had this exact issue happen last spring around this time, flipping in someone's front yard, losing control and going into their living room or their bedroom. What's especially frustrating is the inconsistency with these issues, and we've been told that time and time again that the squeaky wheel gets the grease, but we've done our part, reporting incidents, encouraging our neighbors to report, and making sure that the data reflects the reality on our streets. Responsibility is being bounced back and forth while people and property are at risk. Introducing a new entrance with more cut-through traffic, more opportunities for reckless behavior, it increases both perceived vulnerability and real risk. Traffic safety and crime prevention are not separate issues. They intersect at neighborhood access and enforcement. We have flock cameras in the neighborhood, but time and again we've been told that those cameras can't be accessed unless vehicles have been flagged for suspicious or criminal behavior. There's no perfect solution to all of this. It's going to take an all-of-the-above approach, backed by real enforcement and coordination between St. George and the Sheriff's Office. We need real solutions before adding more homes, more traffic, and more opportunities for people to speed through our neighborhood. Like I said, you'll hear most people tonight talking about flooding and drainage concerns, and that's certainly one that I have as well. We've also been told that community meetings have been delayed because, according to representatives for the applicant, St. George Engineering Department has not yet provided the development team with traffic and drainage studies. However, as the conversation is going tonight, that does not seem to be the full story. We want honest engagement, transparency, and timely communication. I don't think any of us here believe that that's too much to ask for. Please consider either deferring or outright
Mr.
denying
Ryder,
the
thank you.
application.
Time's up.
Thanks.
Erica Pippin.
I'll try to talk fast. Brought the old-fashioned kind of PowerPoint tonight, y'all. My name is Erica Pippin. I live on Director Drive. I'm glad to know that y'all are already ahead of some of this because the data that EBR gave us showing stormwater drainage is incorrect. The water no longer flows that way. So I'm glad y'all are trying to be proactive to figure out how the water is actually moving. I have two pictures. This is the absolute beginning of the drainage the Haven wants to connect to. It's a tiny ditch, and it's blocked by a utility pipe. It's already insufficient now. 87 homes, that's not gonna help. This is my street, January 10th, 2026, after a mild rainstorm. Within an hour, our sidewalks were covered. 5 houses were under the threat of flooding. If the rain hadn't stopped, that backwater flooding would have flooded us in less than an hour, 5 houses. That happened to us in 2021. We've been under this threat probably 10 times since then. If this gets approved as it is, we're really in serious, serious danger. I don't know how much loss of financials, our property use, how much more we can go. We've already lost a lot of good neighbors, and we've gained more good ones. But do you want to live in a house for 10 months while it's under construction from a flood, worrying about, is there mold growing? Did we do enough mold remediation? Is my kid going to get sick? In my case, is my kid going to get sicker? I know that there has been a scope study done by EBR. I made a public records request for it. I hope y'all can get that because it'll cost me money. I do know that it was done in the recent past and nothing was done to rectify it, and a large majority of our buried drainage was completely blocked. That hasn't changed. Rex construction has caused the majority of the stormwater from the park to flood out into our street, into one storm drain, a large majority of the park. It quickly overwhelms our street storm drain, and that's where we start getting backwater flooding. I've spoken with a civil engineer. Them raising the land is only going to make the floodplain completely disappear. I don't think detention ponds are the answer for that. That isn't going to solve the backwater flooding either. We also have neighbors that are experiencing groundwater intrusion into septic systems, the public sewers. So the septic is probably not sufficient either. We have plenty of people around Treasurer posting regularly about that when it rains. Please deny their application.
Thank you for your comments.
Thanks.
Gil Broussard Jr.
My name is Gil Broussard Jr. I live on 7541 President Drive, and I've lived there for 28 years with my wife. We've raised 2 daughters there. We enjoy the neighborhood. We feel safe, and we're excited about living in the St. George community, where we were told, in fact, we were promised that things would be different than they were done in East Baton Rouge. Along with, including future zoning and future developments, excuse me. I come before you tonight to oppose the Haven subdivision, not because I'm against growth and development, but because of the proposed development with no plans for improving the infrastructure or upgrading the drainage system puts my home, as well as the homes of my neighbors and friends, in a very perilous position. If this subdivision is approved, make no mistake about it, we will flood. Please do the right thing and deny this application. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Is it Doug Daigle?
Good evening. Doug Daigle, 3931 Creek Shadow Court. I've gone before the East Baton Rouge Parish Planning Commission for the last 25 years, urging them not to approve development of the high-risk flood zones. And in that entire time, I didn't go to every single meeting, but I went to a lot of them. I only saw them reject one project, one. And that was completely in the flood zone, and it was all wetlands. And they did reject that one, but that was one out of a long list. So what I know mostly about this, from having lived in this area and flooded myself, is that every chunk that's taken out of the floodplain has an impact, even with the mitigation that happens. And by coincidence tonight, the East Baton Rouge Parish Planning Commission is meeting. There is a project on the agenda along Burbank that's 100% in the high-risk flood zone, the AE flood zone. They're going to approve it, and it'll have mitigation measures, but it's part of a pattern. So as folks have mentioned, we really value the chance you all have to do things right. looking at this and the staff comment, first they say that a large portion of the property of significance in the flood zone AE, that's the special flood hazard area. You really shouldn't build in those areas. You should try to limit building in those areas. And then they mention the flood conveyance zone, and what that's supposed to do is obvious from the name. But then I saw another red flag where they said that future development will need to carefully limit impervious coverage and comply with approved drainage plans to prevent adverse offsite impacts. No, not future development. Let's have this development do that. And it may mean that they can't build in the entire area that they want to, because the part that's the high-risk flood zone is the high-risk flood zone. East Baton Rouge set up a pattern where everyone had the expectation that their project would be approved, and that's been true for the last 25 years or more. So I would just urge you all to keep that in mind and listen to what folks are telling you, and let's do things right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Adrian Rivera.
Hello. I also have concerns about the flooding and the drainage. But my main concern for me and where I live, I'm at 7958 Behringer Road. My driveway lines up exactly with Broker. It also has that preschool right there. Behringer is one of the main arteries into the subdivision, kind of like Prophet and Director. People speed down that road. The traffic is already heavy on that road. I'm concerned about more traffic coming through there. The safety factors and how that's going to also disrupt our little neighborhood. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Charles Fairlow?
Yes. 16046 Highland Bluff Court, Baton Rouge. At least 30 years ago, the property that now has soccer fields on Burbank was given to the parish of East Baton Rouge because everybody knew that that was in the floodplain and you could never build in the floodplain. Everybody knew that. Well, now there's all kind of field that's going on Burbank because there wasn't a comprehensive drainage plan. There wasn't anything. You know, it was said we were promised that we were not going to be just like another East Baton Rouge parish. We were going to do things right. Well, Baton Rouge, East Baton Rouge Parish, has been doing things wrong, at least in the last 30 years, in my experience. And a long time ago, people knew you can't build in a floodplain. Well, what happened to that common sense? It got ignored little piece at a time. Little piece here, little piece there, little piece there. Well, we can put a filling station on Burbank. That's all right. And it came, and so what if it takes 5 feet of fill? Well, you know, that's like, that one little piece won't matter much. Well, each of the one little pieces didn't matter much, but altogether they matter a lot. We got an opportunity for the city of St. George to do things right. East Baton Rouge Parish has been doing things wrong for at least the last 30 years. Thank you.
Somebody feels like Sandra Richard, did you want to speak on this or that?
Yes.
Okay, because you got the wrong.
All right, I'll make it really quick. Can everybody hear me? My name is Sandra Richard. I've been in the Old Jefferson subdivision for 49 years. Parents flooded 3 times on Board Drive. They live on Board Drive at 7917. I'm a real estate agent of 27 years. Do you know how hard it is to sell a house right now in Old Jefferson? I just showed one tonight. It's hard to get clients to come back and start buying back in Old Jefferson. And my parents lived there. Been there 49 years. Been married 64 years. They're 85 and 83. You think I'm gonna move them again? Because it's flooding? This development is going to flood that neighborhood. And that's all I got to say. I'm not ever against, growing and getting better. I'm a real estate agent. When I see this, I'm like, oh, look there, I see some commission. But it's not about the money. That last man said, he was right. Boy, I wish Mr. Caves was alive today. He built people in that subdivision, he built it on wetlands. The entire subdivision of Old Jefferson. But he's dead. And now, I just know, y'all gonna lose. If this gets approved, these people back here are gonna have to move. We're gonna flood.
Thank you. Mr. McNutt, it's your turn. I got 8 other cards, but none of these people want to speak. There's 8 other people that are opposed to this also.
Okay, thank you. I think you've heard that the residents of Old Jefferson are definitely against this. Now, I'm going to share with you the reasons I think they're against it. I don't think the residents of Old Jefferson are anti-development or anti-St. George. As has been stated, the city of Baton Rouge and East Baton Rouge Parish has done so many things without regard to their citizens. They don't care what the citizens say. And I'm hopeful that, and I believe that St. George, the people here, will hear what the citizens have to say. I've been to the council meetings. I've talked to council members. I've talked to some of you. I believe you're very interested in helping the people of St. George. I also think you're interested in being fair to developers. So we oppose this on at least 4 bases. The first basis, of course, is flooding. And one of the things that's really annoying to me, and I hope St. George we can do this much better, is if the developer would come to we would have a meeting of our HOA, our association. We would love to hear how he's trying to address our concerns in the proposed addition. But we're not hearing anything from them, as has been stated. Doesn't look like you're hearing much from them either. The second thing that we're concerned about is traffic, and has been stated already, is traffic concerns. And another thing that we're concerned about has been stated. Baton Rouge has done a terrible job. They're not going to change. They are going to continue to do a terrible job, which means putting more water on St. George. If you don't think that's going to happen, you're just not aware of what's going on. Now, that's the negative in things. I'd like to suggest there are some ideas. I'd like to provide a vision for this group and for our residents. I would like to see Old Jefferson subdivision have a levee built around it to prevent flooding. But not just prevent flooding and put the water on somebody else. I'd like to see it where it's done properly, where the water's taken care of. The other thing we need, I'm promote every chance I get for the residents and for you, is in order for St. George to develop responsibly, we are going to have pumps, just like New Orleans. It's been stated, you don't build in wetlands. Well, you can, like you do in New Orleans, if you plan for it and you take care of it. So with all of these little things that happen, as has been stated, little things grow to big things. Let us start little things to pump the water away. Thank you.
That's all the cards we have. Does anybody else want to speak on this? You come on up. Please state your name and address for us, sir.
Again, I apologize a little bit. Sinuses. My name's James Shakes, and I live at 7748 Dividend Drive, St. George, Louisiana. The reason why I oppose the subdivision, there's 2 things. If you notice on the end where it goes into Broker Avenue right there, The road is not big enough. Number one, you have a lot of kids that walk to school there. You don't have sidewalks. The road's not wide enough. You have MBS right there, daycare, that lets in and out, people backing up. You're also going to tie up traffic at the light at Jefferson and Broker, which is a state highway. State maintains the light cycle there. So you're going to make traffic worse during peak times, especially when Antioch backs up. The residents are going to go down Broker trying to cut through Old Jefferson. So that's traffic safety, especially for the kids. The second thing is the flooding. The main canal, I believe, right there in the middle, right there, it's going to it's going to connect to the existing canal, which is plugged up. That canal was not designed for the excess water coming that fast. It was designed for Old Jefferson. So it flows down there. There's a retention pond at the end that hasn't been cleaned out, if ever, and it's not designed for the excess water to hold off, to stall it before it goes into Clay Cut Bayou during the heavy rain. So right now, during the 2-inch rain we had back in December, we had minor street flooding, which most neighborhoods are not going to have. And so having more water, and I know they say retention ponds, but you're taking away the ability for some water to soak in the ground with the amount of homes and concrete there. You're pushing it into ponds. Some of it you're actually pushing straight in the canal. It's going to come down that canal faster, and it's going to come down to the drainage pond in the back faster. It's not dug out. It's not widened, which I would suggest you have some homes on the other side of that retention pond that are no longer there, seeing if maybe you buy the property, widen that retention pond. That'd be a cheap alternative right there. But at this time, something like that is going to flood out the majority of the people in the neighborhood. That's pretty much it.
Thank you for your comments, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else want, Councilman Ingram?
I think y'all know who I am. Max Himmel, this is my area. We were all elected for the health, safety, and welfare of the people. We're here to protect the people. We promised them we're going to do an infrastructure on flooding. We promised to do an infrastructure on traffic. We haven't done nothing. We're here to help these people. And if you live by them, 3 weeks ago when they had a rain, I can't tell you how many yards over there had water in the front of their house because they couldn't drain nowhere. You go over there, me and one of the other guys at St. George went, you got the concrete sewage pipes, they're rotting down in because it's sinking down at the side. That all has to be fixed. We're over there trying to clean out the culverts underneath the driveway, but that's not going to solve a flooding problem. And we've talked about this, you know. But I mean, you say put pumps in. New Orleans still floods. You know, we have to really look at this and see where we are the bottom of the pit for East Baton Rouge Parish, where all the water drains to. Now, you're not just going to stop that overnight and build a subdivision like this. It's not going to happen. You know, guy said sidewalks. Go look at Ascension Parish, Highway 42, 73. They got 5-6 foot wide sidewalks now, so people can ride down the road with their kids or walk down the road. Over here, you're talking a death trap. Believe me, I've been down this road probably 15 times in the last 2 weeks. And I'm going slow so I can look at things and study things, and got people blowing the horn at me, telling me to get out of the way pretty much. But we really need to remember what we promised these people. Now, I remember conversations we had, and I'm going to tell you, it needs, as Max Himmel up here, I'm telling you, we need to do what we told the people we were going to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's your St. George council member. That's not just anybody.
Is there any other comments?
I'd like to make
tough act to follow, though.
My name is Carla Schiavone. I live at 1643 Venetian Avenue in Tuscany Villa subdivision, which is across the way from where all these lovely people live. I want to come up here just so y'all understand the scope and reach of this project. It's not just Old Jefferson. It's not just the east side of Antioch. There are several of my neighbors in this room from Summersby, Tuscany Villas, down Doyle Street. I flooded in 2016. We are even worried about the impact of this subdivision. We are worried about the traffic implications that are going to come with the subdivision. I have to schedule doctor's appointments around traffic hours now. It's absolutely ridiculous. I went to an eye doctor appointment today. I turned on Antioch at 4 o'clock, and it was backed up all the way to the church right at the corner of Council. That's not even 5 o'clock traffic. That's not with an additional 87 houses. And considering the first gentleman had a really good point of, we're going to establish basically a concrete jungle of a roadway when the Jones Creek extension goes through, and we're not even considering what that's going to do to drainage, coupled with this subdivision. We have to do better than Baton Rouge. We have to be better in Baton Rouge. I voted for the city of St. George. I put a lot of faith into this city. My neighbor, my direct neighbor, is sitting next to me. I have restrained from selling my house because St. George was formed. I wanted to wait it out and see what was going to come with the new city. This is absolutely ridiculous that we're even entertaining this. Coming from New Orleans, my whole family lost everything in 2005. I flooded in 2016. I don't need an engineering degree to know that common sense, I have a PhD in. This is absurd that we're even going to consider this and risk the lives, the safety, the traffic, and the infrastructure for 87 houses. That's utterly going to destroy the area. Tank our retail value, our sales values in our houses. For a realtor to come and say it's not about the commission, hopefully that carries a little bit of weight. I just wanted y'all to really understand it goes beyond that one neighborhood. This is the entire Woodlawn Acres area this is going to impact. Definitely opposed. That's all.
Any other comments?
My name is Robert Revel, R-E-V-E-L. I'm a little different from most people who are here in that I am 77 years of age and I have lived within half a mile of my home in Old Jefferson since I was 6 years old. I've seen tremendous changes out here that I don't like. And I see the indifference to people who just want to make a dollar off the lives of other people. I'm going to give a little different description. All the water that we're talking about in that area drains the Claycut Bayou. Does anyone know the last time that bayou was dredged? It was 1969-70. That was done by a huge machine they brought in from a West Virginia coal mine, and it was so large that you could take a state body truck and pull up in the bucket, open both doors, and you wouldn't touch the side of it. And it ran 24 hours a day. It lit up like a football field. That was, again, back in the early 60s. If you go to the Antioch Bridge and look over, and whatever the map says the depth is, it's way off. There's at least 6 or 7 feet rise in that level because there's been no maintenance, no digging, no nothing. I've lived in Old Jefferson for 56 years, and I watched it digress over time. It's like we've been forgotten. They want to build a subdivision. They want to put a road connecting to Jones Creek to have a racetrack come through Old Jefferson. What the hell? It's just the poor people. Well, I'm a proud American. I pay my bills, I pay my taxes, and I expect to receive the same services that everybody else is entitled to. But let someone come in and do this project with disregard to
what's happened to the rest of the people in that subdivision should be considered a crime. Because there's a number of people in my age group that can't leave. And I take a lot of pride in where I live. And I just hope that you all will search your soul before you make a decision to sell out for some developer that just can't wait. Thank you.
How's it going? My name is Leighton Langlois. I actually grew up on Hoosier Road. I'm sure many of these people are familiar with it. Born on Hoosier, seen the change of that and the failure of East Baton Rouge on Hoosier Road. A lot of people back there that can vouch for that. I think this needs to be canceled just because that pipe back there in that picture. Every time it rains in Claycut, I invite all y'all to go ride over Claycut Bridge on Antioch Road and look at how high that water is. I guarantee it, if you could get to that pipe, the water's at the bottom of it. So you throw all this is just a huge funnel is what it is. It's a concrete funnel. And they're gonna funnel all this water to a canal that can't take it. You can't dig it deeper because the sea level is the sea level. There's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is widen it. That's the only way to make Claycut hold more water. A retention pond, how many retention ponds y'all see in these neighborhoods that got built that are full of water? That don't do any good, does it? If the retention pond is holding water, it's not gonna retain any storm water. It needs to be empty with grass in it. That's the only way it works. Whoever built the new neighborhood on Antioch, they did it halfway right. It's mostly dry, but it's still got water in it, so it's not doing what it was designed to do. So we can do all the drainage plans we want for this, but it ain't gonna work. I don't care what they do. They can pump it. The only way they can make it work is if it disappears. And guess what? We can't do that. Nobody can do that. So unless y'all come up with a plan to widen Claycut, widen Amite River, lower the sea level, this ain't gonna work. It's just not, it's common sense, right? I mean, I think we can all agree that if the water rises, there's nowhere for that water to go. It's got to have somewhere to go. If y'all can get it over to, I don't know, somewhere else, maybe, but there is nowhere else. You got Claycut and you got Fountain, which that's on the side of Airline. You can't get water over there. And then when you put in Jones Creek Extension, for the people in Old Jefferson, you're building a wall on the west end of Old Jefferson. There's a wall on the east end, the north end, or no, I'm sorry, not the north end, but the south end. The only place for that water goes Claycut. It's full. It's common sense. We can't do it. Not to mention the traffic on Antioch Road. I live on the corner of Antioch and Doyle, 8131, Antioch Road. I can't get out of my driveway at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Sometimes I have to sit in my own driveway to get on Antioch, 10 minutes, just to get out. Not to mention the school traffic, we all know about that. It's a mess. Something's got to be done. I don't think Jones Creek Extension is really going to relieve Antioch that much. Just doesn't make sense. Anybody coming south is not going to drive past Antioch to go to Jones Creek. They're going to take Antioch. So adding, 200 something cars? If it's 80 houses, we figure two cars a house. We're adding 200 cars to a road that already backed up.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming.
You have to sign up for this?
Don't just state your name and address.
Okay, all right. Hi. My name is John L. Bovard, and I live at 16332 Woodlawn Acres Avenue. And I believe everybody here covered about the flood. I've been this deep in water, so I'm not here about that. What I'm here about is the future of this neighborhood, to me, looks like it's heading in the trend of neighborhoods that my brother-in-law has been affiliated with, building, trimming out and stuff. They become single-parent family homes because of the size of the lot, real close together, and basically they have turned to rent. Renters, because of the interest rates are high. Interest rates have gone up and insurance has gone up. And considering those two factors, the people who cannot afford to buy anymore, they can afford to rent for about $1,500 to $2,000 a month rental. And they're willing to put that down. So they rent and they just sign these leases, okay? So you're gonna have possibly, nobody told us whether this is going to be rental? As they said, it's residential, yeah, okay, but nobody tells us if it's going to be rental property, or is it going to be residential that's going to buy the property, okay? So then you're going to have these people in here which are going to be coming and going, okay? They may live here for a while, then they'll leave. They're going to live here for, well, not everybody, God bless them. They're doing the best they can, and we are too, who have already owned property. And we are trying to improve our property as well, but we are limited by the elevation we were already set at by the city parish. Now, this is going to get up. Okay, I can see it already. It's going to be up, and it's going to have a little pond there, and then all the water out of the back of the house is going to go in a pond, and then the water in the front is going to go in the street, and it's come right down the street. It's going to fill that clay cut bayou up. It's going to back right back up the street. It ain't going to affect them. They might not be able to get out unless they head toward Airline. So, mark my word, I think it's going to be a problem in another aspect, okay? That's all I got to say.
I'm Don Stewart. I live in Tuscany Villa subdivision at 16039 Venetian Avenue. Carlos Gavek here, a few speakers earlier, I think, addressed some of our current concerns over on the east side of Antioch. One of the specific things I want to address is living on Venetian Avenue, where I do, I'm at the highest point in our neighborhood. I'm approximately 43 feet above sea level. And that was an enticement when I first bought that home 20 some odd years ago. As Carla indicated, she flooded out in 2016. She's at the opposite end of my street. Water that particular year came up to my curb. What I have learned with all this new construction that's going on is that now I am in a very difficult situation. About 5 years ago, I had to put in, have 5 swells dug in my front yard to drain off the Presbyterian Church, who's directly behind me, that faces Antioch, to drain off all their runoff water, which literally came through my front yard. And putting in those 4 swells, it did the trick. But unfortunately, it dumps that water on Venetian Avenue. And so I've learned as well that all this continued construction is having negative impact on earlier subdivisions that didn't anticipate the kind of problems that we're having right now. So just kind of want to add to that, along with the traffic issues. Dole Road is a huge hazard. You're lucky to be able to get 2 cars on that road, and we exit off that road quite frequently to get on Antioch, and you combine with that the traffic concerns that have already been mentioned on Antioch. It's a nightmare. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? There being none, we'll close the comment period. We'll ask the applicant if he wants to come up. Mr. Bodie, you want to come up and respond? I'd ask everybody to please be courteous and let him speak, please.
Well, the main thing I just wanted to reiterate is obviously we heard the concerns, and that's why we're requesting the 90-day deferral so that we continue to work with the City of St. George. It wasn't until 4:30 this afternoon that we were even notified that we were having a public hearing because we agreed to the deferral. So I'm happy to answer the questions y'all have. We've as far as drainage or traffic or anything else, I'm happy to answer any questions. But we have passed like I said, we understand the existing problems that they're having in Old Jefferson. We're aware of it, and we're working with City of St. George to come up with a resolution, and that's why we're requesting a 90-day deferral.
Commissioner, y'all got any questions for the applicant? Travis?
but you said earlier that you are not going to reduce the lot numbers, number of lots.
So we're waiting to, I've seen, somebody told me there was a post that St. George has been out to Old Jefferson starting to clean up some of the drainage. So we're waiting to work with St. George and see what comes back from that. So as of this time, I can't say that we're looking to reduce any number of the lots. I can't say that we were required by the code to have 4 acres of open space, and we have over 8 acres. So we've doubled the amount of open space in this neighborhood that's required by the code. So that'll be my response to that.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any comments?
I know this project looks good on paper, and it's met all the requirements, but considering the health, safety, and welfare of the community and some of the comments here, I make a motion to deny.
And I'll second, and I just want to state, because we need to make a record here, that this would negatively impact the health, safety, and welfare of St. George. This area has a history of flooding, which is ongoing and frequent, even in minor rain events. There's 50% impervious coverage per lot. They're not agreeable to reducing the number of lots, and it's in the flood zone AE. There's significant traffic concerns in the area. It's simply too dense, and it's going to cause great problems in that area.
We have a motion to deny in a second. We'll do a roll call vote, please.
Travis Thornton?
Yes.
Lori Marion?
Yes.
Jason McAllister?
Yes.
Bobby McKay?
Yes.
Billy Aguilar?
Yes. Motion to deny carries. That's all the business we have for public hearings. We got a motion. All in favor?
We do have another meeting after this, if y'all could keep it down. We have a zoning meeting after this.
Quite please, the zoning commission meeting is over with. We go directly into the planning commission meeting is over with. We go directly into the zoning commission meeting, which is Monday, February 2nd, 26, immediately after the planning commission meeting at 14100 Airline Highway, City of St. George. We'll call the meeting to order, zoning commission meeting to order. We'll do a roll call again, please.
Travis Thornton? Here. Lori Marion? Here. Billy Aguilar?
Here.
Here.
The minutes have been published on the St. George website. Have y'all read them? Have y'all approved them? Motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the minutes carries. Hey, can y'all be quiet, please? Can y'all be quiet, please? Can y'all be quiet, please? Please? We got a meeting going on. This is a public hearing at T26-0001 and Z26001 zoning districts to amend Title VII of the Unified Development Code to establish new base zoning districts and update allowed uses and dimensional standards and reorganize some sections, rezoning of all property in the city to the new base zoning districts and to provide related matters. The proposed zoning map is available on the Planning and Zoning website page, and it has been up to today, and it was revised today, I believe, and it's up on, is that correct? It's on the website today?
There are no revisions on the website today. There are some proposed revisions in your handout, and if you're agreeable to them, then we will update the website.
Okay. What did y'all give us for revisions? This one's on this?
It's
some revisions to 2 specific areas in the city, and then also some revisions to the text that are highlighted in yellow.
All right, this is a public hearing. We'll open this up to a public hearing. Does anybody want to speak on this? Mr. McNutt?
I don't want to disappoint you.
You're not.
First, I want to thank you all for listening to all the citizens. And what's been commented is, Mr. Charles Pearlman indicated, he's watched the Baton Rouge City do a lot.
You know, we're not going to talk about something that's
Okay.
already done. If we want to
All
talk
right.
about zoning, we'll listen to you. If not,
All right, can you give me I don't know if a broad description of what the change is about, just a real simple description. I'm sorry I didn't look to see if there's a place that would explain it to me. And maybe there is, maybe you can point me to it, but just a simple, what's changing? You changed from rural to whatever.
it's not a question and answering session, but we'll listen to your comments. I think if you want to look on the website, basically, we're doing away with some zoning. Most of the rural zoning is going away. All that's changed. And, you know, other than that, go to the website, look at it. If you got any questions, you're welcome to call our staff during the week and ask them questions, but this is not a question and answering session.
Can you say what the rural's going to? Is it going to?
There's a whole bunch of, everything's changed.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, sir. State your name and address, please, sir.
This is the first time in 25 years I have had the members of Planning and Zoning Commission all paying attention the full time that anybody was talking. I mean, that has never happened in East Baton Rouge Parish. I've been doing it for 25 years. I mean, people would go to sleep, they were reading the newspaper, doing something. You folks really have taken a big step towards doing things different. And, I'm, so pleased to see it. But, and I've had some opportunity to talk to Brian. And, Rachel. And these are really good people who are seriously interested and highly capable in helping St. George become better. And I think y'all are too. And, from what I see, you're going from 45 or so zoning deals to maybe 19, and that's a good thing. I think that the general direction that you're talking about right here is the right thing. And this is new blood that's coming in and helping, and, I really thank you folks for really paying attention. You just can't imagine how much it helps the spirit have some confidence in our local government. And a smaller St. George city instead of a big, is a benefit. So thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I got to say this, we have one of the best planning staffs in the state of Louisiana. They do an excellent job. It makes our job extremely easy because everything we get that comes before us has explanations on it, and we already know what they're thinking when it comes to us. So it makes our job a whole lot easier. So we thank them also for what they do. And all of us on this board here are all dedicated to the city of St. George. We all live here. We want to make this the best city in the state of Louisiana. So thank you all for your comments. Again, this is a public comment period. Anybody want to comment on zoning? Mr. Michael?
Thank you.
Name and address, please.
Sorry, Michael McDowell, 8612 Foxfield Drive, St. George. I just wanted to raise a procedural point. This may be better addressed to the city attorney. But since the
Hold on, the only person can do a procedural point is us on this board. We're not gonna listen to any procedural points.
okay, if I can make a comment regarding
You can make a
the
comment,
map?
but not a procedural point.
Okay. Forgive me, I don't know the difference. I apologize. So this map was not available online until today, and I believe that it's required to be as a public document at least 24 hours in advance of the meeting as part of the agenda. So just a heads up. I don't want you guys to get caught in some legal where I think that you're doing the right thing, and if somebody were to come to you and be hung up on like Title 12, Section 3 of the Constitution, that'd be a problem. While I have a couple seconds left, a couple of people have spoken and rural has come up, and I know that that's a really big part of our city. It seems that in the proposed ordinance, though, that there are overlay districts, which are rural or suburban, and those kinds of, at least the way that I read it, translate fairly similarly to the character areas that are already in the UDC. So I guess my comment is, just as a citizen, it doesn't make a ton of sense to not define the boundaries of these overlay districts. And so if the boundaries are public somewhere, I would love to see them. But the ordinance as proposed takes the base zoning district into consideration and not the character area. So you have suburban character area currently zoned rural, and you have rural character area that's currently zoned rural as it stands. And both of those would be kind of collected into the same RC zoning district. And I don't think that accomplishes the spirit of what you're looking to accomplish. And it doesn't distinguish in the overlay districts where the boundaries are between rural and suburban. So that's my comment. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any comments, Michael? Question for our staff is this, when did we publish this online?
This map was made available according to our GIS team on Wednesday. We are aware that there were some issues, at least today, where the public was asked to log in as opposed to it being freely available. And I don't know if that was something that just happened today, but we do know at least since Wednesday it's been online, and at least on Wednesday when we checked it, it was publicly available and not behind a login page.
All right, thank you. Any other comments, please, from? There be no comments, we'll close the public comment period. Again, we approve this goes to council. There's another public hearing with city council, and the council, we have time to change it. There's some amendments that, these amendments, these only amendments? Okay. So as is drafted, plus these amendments, I think we'll send it to the council, and if anybody wants to comment, you can comment and send comments into the planning department, and I'll send them to us, and we'll get them to the council. And the next council meeting is, when does this go to the council, please?
February 24th?
February 24th. If anybody wants to come and speak to it at that time, y'all welcome to come. Commissioners, what's y'all wishes?
Motion approved with the amendments given by staff.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Any other business? Anybody has anything to say? Any other business? Any general public comments? Anybody want to say anything? Any public comments? There being none, motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Motion adjourned passes. Thank y'all for coming.
Motion for